Okay, welcome to part 2 of this thing here. I'm just starting to glue them together. I've got both halves, all the tracks routed, and then the 3/4 inch tracks are all routed in both halves. So what I'm doing is just putting the 3/4 inch ones in right now, putting the cabinet together. So I'll show you how I'm doing that. The first two are already in. So what I'm doing here, let me put you down here. What I'm doing is taking a pretty decent amount of glue inside this track here. The glue I use for almost every wood project is Titebond 2. I like that for most everything. It's extremely strong glue. If I'm doing something that's going to be marine, like on a boat or something like that, I'll probably use Gorilla Glue. But for most of my wood projects, I'm using Titebond 2. So I cut glue in that track. This is a 3/4 inch board, 3/4 inch track that I've cut in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work one side of this in place, just like that, because it's pretty. Sorry, you guys are probably wiggling all over the place while I'm doing this. I'm going to grab a clamp here. I'm just going to clamp that side down. So you can see here, got that side clamped down, and it's kind of popping a wheelie over here. It's because it's a really tight fit. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is kind of work this down into there, like so. And I can go ahead and pop the clamp in here on the other side, right there, like that. Just like that. So the two sides are clamped down all the way. And now that that side's clamped down, I'm going to pop this clamp off. I'm going to put this in the middle here, just to make sure my middle is clamped down, which it obviously was not. You guys saw that move a ton. So that middle is now clamped. Okay, and I'll just throw this right here. And you can tell when you get them clamped down nice and good, because the glue is going to pop out everywhere. That's a good sign there for you that your clamping's good. Okay, so now I'm going to pop you up underneath here on the underside. You guys can see that. I'll show you what I'm going to do here. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I've got a chalk line on there. I'm going to take this and I'm just drilling. I'm just going to put a couple in them right now. Drilling a hole, countersinking it. I will drill a hole here in the middle. Countersink it. I don't know what that looks like to you guys. It's probably crazy being all upside down. Hole on the outside. Countersink it. Then I'll switch this bit out for my Phillips. Then I'm just going to run some screws up into those holes. Like that. Inside. Like that. And like that. Okay, so now I'm going to park you guys right over here real quick on this. Okay, in a little bit, sorry about that. Take these off now. And what I'm going to do here is take this whole cabinet and I'm going to pick it up like that. And I'm just going to lay it down here. If you build this, be careful lifting this. It's pretty heavy stuff. So like right there. I'm just going to lay it down on that. And the reason why I'm doing that is I'm going to walk along these lines in the middle where I couldn't get clamps really good. Just make sure those are really good and clamped, especially in the middle bar where I couldn't get as many screws in there. I'm just going to do the same process after I walk on these right here, make sure they're real solid. Then I'm just going to glue, then I'm just going to screw and clamp these middle portions down here. That one I'll do. Some more screws. Cool. Alright guys. So that's where I'm to now. I'm going to glue the other half on. So I'll glue the other side, screw the other side just like I've done here. And then I'll get back with you. Okay, so here's both sides glued together and the shelf standing up. So that's what it's going to look like standing up. I've thrown some of the masonite slats in there so you guys can see what that's going to be like. So now pretty much all I got to do is I'm going to put little flaps on the front of here. I think I'm going to use sheet rubber flaps that'll stop the cans from coming out, and then I got to cut these masonite pieces down to size. They're all still 48 inches long, and then that's pretty much it. This guy's going to be ready to be painted and put in the house. I'm probably going to take the router and route some like 1/2 inch viewing windows up this. It's going to make this thing a little bit lighter because it's really heavy right now. It'll make it so you can see how many cans you have in each slot, and then it's also going to give you something to hold on to when you're trying to carry this heavy cabinet, because it is pretty heavy. It's all 3/4, but it's going to hold a ton of cans. So it'll hold 18 flats of cans, and so it's going to be really tight, a really small space to hold. I have not seen a can holder that holds as many cans as this one in as small a space as this one. And I mean, you could potentially build 4 or 5 of these wide, and man, you can hold a lot of cans that way. So cool. I'll show you on the next video where we've got to.